Hello again, another video here. This time we've got to solve the equation of 2 divided by x minus 1 plus 3 divided by x minus 2 is equal to 1. Giving your answers correct to 2 decimal places. Right, let's write down the equation. Now, when we do equations like this, we need to think how we actually add and subtract fractions. And what we look for is a common denominator. So looking for a common denominator, the common denominator normally we take that and that number and we multiply them together. So we do the same in algebra. Okay, but you don't need to multiply them out. So it's x minus 1, x minus 2. Now, because you've multiplied that by x minus 1, you must multiply x minus 2. You must multiply the numerator by x minus 2. So the top becomes 2 times x minus 2. This x minus 2 has been multiplied by x minus 1, so this numerator has been multiplied by x minus 1. Plus 3 times x minus 1 is still equal to 1. Right, there are now 2 steps in the next stage. First bit is to expand the brackets in the numerator. And then, because this is divide by x minus 1 and x minus 2, you can multiply by x minus 1, x minus 2, and what that has, it takes that and puts it up here. Then it reduces the equation so it's not a fraction. So, expanding the brackets, we get 2x minus 4 plus 3x minus 3. And then we're going to do 1 times all of this, so it's going to be 1 times x minus 1, x minus 2. In the next line we're going to ignore the 1. Right, on this side we're going to collect like terms. So we've got 2x plus 3x, which makes 5x, and then we've got minus 4 and minus 3, which makes minus 7. On this side we're going to expand the brackets, so we're going to do x times x minus 2, and then minus 1 times x minus 2, or you could use the FOIL method. So on the left hand side we've still got 5x minus 7, so then we're going to do x times x, which gives me x squared, x times minus 2, which gives me minus 2x, minus 1 times x, which gives me minus x, and minus 1 times minus 2, careful, change the sign to a plus 2. Then this still stays the same. Here we need to collect the like terms up together. So we're going to have x squared minus 3x plus 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite of adding 5x, which is take 5x, and then the opposite of taking 7, which is to add 7. So we're going to do that side. So this side will become x squared minus 3 minus 5x gives me minus 8x, and then plus 2 plus 7 gives me plus 9. And on this side it's now equal to 0. And this is a quadratic equation. Maybe an IGCSE question would be start with that and show that it's equal to that. And if you weren't able to do that bit, at least then you could carry on with the question. So, we have to now solve the quadratic x squared minus 8x plus 9 is equal to 0. So if we write out ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now the clue to use the formula is that we have to give our answers correct to 2 decimal places. So from this, a is 1x squared, b is minus 8, and c is 9. Write down the quadratic formula, so x is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now we need to substitute the numbers in carefully, particularly the b because it's minus 8. So we've got x is going to be minus brackets minus 8, plus or minus the square root of minus 8 all squared. It's very, very important that you put those brackets in, otherwise you'll end up with minus 64 there. Minus 4 times 1 times 9, all divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. Now, minus 8 is 8. Minus 8 squared is 64, because it becomes the square root of 64, and then minus 4 times 1 times 9 gives me minus 36. All divided by 2 times 1. And then we're going to have 8 plus or minus 64 minus 36, which is 28, divided by 2. So, either x is 8 minus root 28 over 2, Now, if you're doing this on your calculator, it's a good idea to put brackets around here, or if you are using one of these newer calculators, use the fraction template. So remember brackets for the calculator or the fractions template, and then working that on your calculator, you get 1.3542, etc. We want 2 decimal places. That 4 will have no effect on that 5, and therefore the answer is 1.35, or x is equal to 8 plus root 28 over 2, again remembering to put brackets in, or to use the fraction template on one of the newer calculators. Working that out gives me 6.64575. Put in a line here. That 5 does affect that 4, but then so the answer becomes 6.65. So finally, x is equal to 1.35, or 6.65 to 2 decimal places. So this has been a video about taking a fractional equation which leads to a quadratic equation which needs to be solved using the quadratic formula. I hope you have understood, and I thank you very much for watching.